one of the more interesting free agent running backs because he's not a big name. He's not an overly explosive player or anything like that, right? But what he is he's consistent in being part of a committee. And we're talking about Gus Edwards, who had a breakout season. I mean, if you want to call it that, or career high. Let's just go there. 5-year pro, spent all 5 seasons in Baltimore. And again, intriguing, not because he's Barkley or Jacobs or Henry, because he's the model of consistency as a complimentary back. And that was my buzzword last year, going into dealing with the running back situation, right? Was, hey, look, just get a compliment. You didn't tag Tony, nothing we can do about that, but compliment him. You're not going to run him out here and treat him like early years Zeke. No, compliment him, right? And that's what Gus Edwards is to me. Actually, these next few are complimentary backs, in my opinion. 2023 had 810 yards, 13 touchdowns, career highs, obviously. And you want to talk about goal line, ain't got to worry about that with him. Gus Edwards is a guy who had 13 touchdowns, all 13 goal to goal, tied with Raheem Mostert, I believe. Goes 6'1", 238. And that's, look, he's not, don't mistake this dude for a dude that's going to run around you. He's trying to power through you. He's not, that's not who he is. The Ravens, though, were the inverse of the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Eagles, their running backs get you down to the goal line, and then Jalen Hurts vultures the touchdowns. Baltimore, their quarterback gets you down to the goal line, and their running backs vultures. I don't call it vulture, but they scored touchdowns. That was Gus Edwards' job, you know. And even for a guy who's not particularly explosive, he does have a 40-yard run on his resume last year and an 80-yard touchdown on his resume. So, you know, he can hit the big play, but I wouldn't mistaken Gus Edwards as a big play guy. Gus Edwards is a complimentary power back that goes about 240 at 6'1". That's who he is. Interesting, though. Not a guy that's asked to block a lot, because a lot of people are worried about going with young running backs because, hey, man, they got to pass block. Fair enough. When Gus Edwards was asked to pass block in his 5-year career, he's only given up 1 sack or been credited for 1 sack and doesn't have a ton of pressure. So, you know, being a veteran, that obviously is something that he should be good at. If not, then you got a problem there. So fit is just basically what we just were talking about. He'd be a complimentary power back to a potential young guy you get in the draft. What about the price? Another cheap guy. Spotrac has him at 1 year, $3.5 million roughly. PFF has him at 2 years, $3.5 million roughly, $4 million guaranteed. Believe it or not, you know, that number for the Cowboys still feels a little high, but it's hard to get that much cheaper unless you go J.K. Dobbins. I don't really see the Cowboys hovering around that 8, 9, 10, $11 million type of deal. Hence why Cowboy criteria. So Gus Edwards, power back, not anything probably going to move the needle for many people, but he is a consistent complimentary guy for Baltimore.